500 years ago to meet the man who gave his name to this word, along with a masterclass as to its meaning.
Listen. The world's gone mad. Only I can guide you through it. Forget the lies people tell about me. I'm not your enemy, just someone who can change your life and everything you believe forever. Knowing this, can you afford to keep me locked away? Or do you find yourself in such chaos you must risk letting me out? Risk hearing the forbidden words of Niccolò Machiavelli.
The Prince, by Niccolò Machiavelli, dramatized for radio by Peter Wolfe, with Kieran Hines as Machiavelli.
So you choose to hear me? Brave move. With our city full of traitors, the force to hold it together rests in two places alone. My head and your fist, Giuliano. The fist of the Medici family, back in Florence after, 18 years exile? But time grows short. Another war's coming. As your army led me from my jail to this palace, I felt it, because for all your troops and allies at every door spying, Prince Giuliano de' Medici's grip and power remains, dare I say, weak. Ah, that's why you summoned me up, to make me indebted. In return for freedom, I'm expected to repay you with all I have, and both you and I know all I have left is the secrets of power, honed over 2 decades' service to the Florentine Republic, until you Medicis came back and the Republic was overthrown. Power. And when we want it, we can't get it. When we get it, we can't keep it. Such is your fate also, unless you listen. I give up my secrets, you give me my liberty. Fair exchange? To begin to prove my worth, I must free us both from our jail of time and place. Yes, let your education start in a desert far from here, during an earlier war. We'll call it Machiavelli's first lesson, shall we? Chapter 1, in the lost art of power. Trust yourself to my vision, Prince Giuliano de' Medici. Test yourself against it. Listen for clues to unlock its secret. And absolute power could be yours.
Everything's ready. Both armies are face to face. And he's out there, David, waiting for you.
What's he like?
You've not seen him yet.
Don't look.
Well, I did. And having seen Goliath, I think you should wear my armor.
Saul, your armor's fine, but to win, I need tactics.
He's double your height, so take my lance. Triple your weight, so here's cudgel and sword.
Oh, they're heavy.
No, it's just your grip is weak.
Of course it is. I'm a boy, not a man. War came too soon. Why can't I be older?
Pity David. The armor that should protect him only weighs him down, along with the knowledge that he alone, Prince of the Israelites, can save his people from the Philistine Goliath. But how? At this point, the boy's future seems as bleak as mine.
Goodbye, Saul. Pray for me.
What, here?
No.
Take it.
No more.
David, he's a giant. Without my shield, you're...
God! It's burden! Dragging me down. It's not mine. I don't need armor. I need a clear head.
So, David is to fight Goliath naked?
Not quite. Fetch my old slingshot and a pebble.
Is this useful? Do I prove my worth? My point is not that David goes on to slay Goliath. Any fool with a Bible knows that. But in shedding Saul's armor, David makes best use of his own resources. A new prince, therefore, should always discard what's alien to him. No lasting victory can occur with foreign arms, because everything that's not our own betrays us.
Goliath!
So ends the first lesson in power. It's about loyalty, Medici. Think of it. Like David, you're a new prince, and since I and my Florentine militia surrendered to your alien forces, the battle between us is over. You Medicis win, we Republicans lose. But can you trust your army? Look at the damage they've already done to our beloved city. Learn from David's example. Discard all foreign armor, send your mercenaries home, then allow Florentine locals to police the state in your name. This may seem odd to a beginner, Medici, but those with experience of such matters will tell you that a city used to freedom, but now enchained, can be more effectively ruled by, well, its own people, such as I, for example. Medici, I'm on your side now. Your Florentine armor forged and beaten through a lifetime defending this place. Though hard as I am, I'll fit like silk. Use me, wear me close, keep me here in your palace where I can best serve you. Don't let me rust away in jail again, innocent of any crime except... Trust me. Trust in me. I'm arguing for my life, Giuliano. While you judge the future of citizen Machiavelli alive or dead, let him initiate you into a power far deeper. Teach you a lesson in, shall we say, the art of cruelty? Good. Call it Chapter 2. Even give it a title. Oh, something clever like Those Who Come to Power by Crime. Yes, I like that. But caution. Unlike my biblical tale, its setting is dangerously recent, close to home. Namely, the city of Fermo, December the 26th, 1501. 12 years back, while I was still free. And you, Medici's, cowered in exile. Welcome to Oliverotto's courtyard, during a banquet to mark the young man's return, not from exile, but from the wars that forever tear Italy apart.
Enjoying the meal, Don Carbone?
Oliverotto, your father'd be proud.
And you, Uncle?
Fermo's had nothing like this in years.
And never will again, I trust.
Now watch for the hypocrite, hiding treachery under a cloak of honor. Whoever he is to be feared indeed, then unmasked, then copied, an example of survival to us all.
Headman of Fermo, I left this city as an orphan stranger. You greet me today as a trusted friend.
Oliverotto, we're honored by the respect you show us.
And if the size of your honor matches the size of your banquet, we hope your stay in Fermo is permanent.
Thank you. But first I would talk of my travels, of what I learned in Rome, of Pope Alexander and his son Duke Valentino, also known as Cesare Borgia.
Careful, nephew. This is your house, Oliverotto.
But we warn you, the Borgia have many enemies.
They're Italy's future. I'm sorry. I mean no disrespect. But who else can bring peace to our country's warring factions? The Medici? They can't even win back Florence from those Republican swine led by Soderini and Machiavelli.
Naive young Oliverotto appears to have said too much.
I speak out of turn. Perhaps we should withdraw from this open courtyard to a room more private.
Better.
Come, friends. Then you can learn more.
These are powerful men, not to be crossed.
And they're just as intrigued as you, Uncle, by my views on the Borgia family.
Because the father's a liar and the son's an animal.
True, he has the boldness of a lion, cunning of a fox.
This year he's taken 7 cities. Fano, Pesaro, Rimini, Cesena. Know what he does there?
My guests, be comfortable.
Oliverotto! Oliverotto! Be they friend, foe, or family, Borgia murders everyone in his path. And now you'll shame our family by defending him.
Wrong, Uncle. Now everyone's here. I'm going to copy him.
What?
Why, I loved you as a son! Old man, a minute ago I was just your child. Now I am Prince of Fermo.
Guess the traitor. His abuse of words like honor and trust. Or is he too clever for your untrained mind? Having come to power by crime, Oliverotto teaches us much. Before seizing control of a state, a prince should calculate the harm he must inflict to do so. Then strike without warning, without mercy, once and for all. Having done the crime and come to power, he can safely reward any surviving citizens with posts in government. Oh yes, a new prince can afford to be generous, because his people will never forget he is capable of horrifying violence should they dare to rebel. Crush people, then pamper them. This is cruelty used well. Used badly, cruelty grows rather than lessens. Giuliano, when your magnificent Medici family recaptured Florence, after I and my militia surrendered to your alien enemy forces, you saw fit to throw me in jail, and there saw fit to torture me, not once, which is common in war, and I understand, but 5 times on the strappado, each time worse. Forgive me. In my pain, I reveal too much. I forget cruelty is always kinder than weakness, because weakness brings chaos, and chaos brings the fall of civilization, and we can't have that, can we? No, no, we're civilized. So torture away, Medici, never stop. But remember, he who uses cruelty well enhances his power. He who uses it ill can't remain in power long. While his victims' mouths may forgive him, their twisted bones can never forget. They wait and wait to the perfect moment, without warning, without mercy, to hit back. Enough theory. Pain makes me cynical. Out in the real world, and despite using cruelty by the book, young Oliverotto, for whom I held such hope, lasts only a year as prince due to unforeseen... Oh, see for yourself.
Bastard! Traitor!
After the Battle of Sinigalia, the Honorable Oliverotto of Fermo is...
Honor!
But who's the strangler crouching in shadow?
Honor!
Don't you wish for his identity?
Honor! 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 Honor!
Don't you yearn to unmask him, then learn from him, then copy him, fired by the power of his name? Perhaps not. Not yet. For now, let his name be a mystery. Secrets ensure my usefulness and preserve my neck. Brave move, Machiavelli. Always so clever. Perhaps too clever. Your Magnificence Prince Giuliano should know that before my fall, when I wasn't leading diplomatic missions to promote Florence, writing political theory to improve Florence, forming militias to save Florence, or being accused of treason against Florence, or being betrayed and friendless within Florence, or being padlocked in dungeons beneath Florence, my one love, raped. When I'm not obsessed with our town, I write the odd play. This is vital information. For stagecraft and statecraft go hand in hand, don't they? For both are crafts which thrive on performance, timing, suspense, and deceit. Deceit, Medici. Theater and power are all about how things seem, layer upon layer, how we appear to make them seem. An actor seems to tell the truth, as does a prince, when in truth, to reach a greater truth, both actor and prince must tell lies. Indeed, if the actor is any good at his work, by which I mean if his audience are to believe him, he must always lie. Ah, the twist of double meaning. Turning prince into actor, actor into prince. Where does it all lead? What are we turning into? Where might it take us next? A school for princes, perhaps. From a time before even the Bible. Good. Chapter 3. How princes should honor their word. Beware of double meaning, Medici, and watch for the power of the animal. He bites.
Ha! I win again, Greece's finest warrior.
Greece's youngest? Fetch my sword, eh?
It's behind you in the dirt.
Achilles, centaurs have the top half of a man and the back end of a horse. Though this brings me advantages in war and bed, bending to pick up swords isn't one of them.
You won't trick me, will you?
Trust me. Pick it up. That's right.
Ah!
Achilles, are you hurt?
You kicked me.
Sorry.
Sorry? You gave your word.
I did. I'm sorry you believed me.
Why? I should believe you. You're my teacher.
Never believe a centaur. Whatever his human mouth may promise, he remains half wild. And never believe no one else neither, because victories are built on broken words. Always, always be tricking the enemy by seeming honest of thought and honorable of deed.
That's lying.
It's survival.
It's beneath a warrior.
There's two ways to fight. By law, which comes natural to men, and by force, natural to beasts. A winner must draw on both the man and beast within him.
Then I must lose, for I have no beast inside me.
But if you did, which would you choose?
Something proud, I hope. Something brave.
A lion, perhaps?
Chiron pulls a lever. A distant gate opens.
And here he comes, running free across the... Chiron, I want to be a lion, not its next meal.
Just as it reaches them.
Caught him!
So easy to trap. He fell for it into the pit, so...
As always, the lion's brave but stupid. What did you be now?
Something not stupid?
Somewhat clever?
And sly and cunning.
A fox?
Chiron pulls another lever. A beast scurries out.
There. He avoids the trap. Fox, I chose well.
But Chiron pulls a third lever.
No, Fox. Run this way. Oh, this is evil.
Keep watching. Don't flinch.
Chiron, call off your wolves or I'll... You broke my sword.
Begad, it weren't your skull. Now, tell me what we learn by the lion's fall and the fox's death.
That I must be a lion to scare wolves, and a fox to avoid traps. That I must give my word lightly and break it often. That I must offer peace and goodwill while secretly harboring bad faith and low intent.
Yes, Achilles. We grow up to learn there's nothing as self-destructive as generosity.
To do good is possible, but to do evil is necessary.
Apollo, god of war, let the beast within me rise!
Fine speech, Achilles. Though you don't live up to it, your army does. When to avenge your murder, they build a wooden horse filled with hidden troops, a poisoned gift to the fools of Troy. And so another city-state is torched into history. Troy, Rome, Florence, where will it end? So the question how princes should honor their word is itself a trap, cleverly laid by me to show a prince should honor his word. Never. And because humanity is wretched and cannot change, what held in antiquity still holds today. My advice to every lion chasing power, learn cunning from the fox and lying from the actor. It's what I do, believe me. Let us consider Alexander VI, so admired by Oliver Otto, before he was betrayed by him anyway. Alexander the liar, so bent on telling the untruth, he ends up not as pauper, but as pope. 12 years ago, 1502, just after the Battle of Sinigalia. I'm a visiting diplomat on behalf of the Free Florentine Republic, and there he rises, head of the Church of Intrigue, whose Bible is whispers and rumor.
They
say the closer one gets to Rome, the quieter the voices, the deadlier the lies. But apart from all this deception, Alexander Borgia's reign owes most to his secret weapon. Where is he? There, at Alexander's right hand. There he stands in clouds of incense. Eyes flashing, teeth bared. Oh, he's angry.
To God!
Wondrously so.
I just sent Oliver to hell!
Dangerously so.
God and Rome will kneel to me!
I know, sometimes he goes too far. He's the first to admit it. His mind is sane, but his soul is mad. We'll return to unmask him when things are less stormy. Yet even in his rage, he makes my point. Behind every figurehead is someone unique, extreme, someone beyond conscience, fearless to act. Medici, did I explain that in Machiavelli's list of princes you deserve your own mention? Oh yes, after all, upon your recent overthrow of the Florentine Republic, a community, remember, in which I'd risen to second in command, your magnificence, Prince Giuliano de' Medici, appeared to forgive my, Republican leanings of 20 years and offer me a post in your new royal government? How adaptable, I thought. Practical. Wasn't I perfect to sit at the right hand of Florence's, dare I say, inexperienced new prince and whisper in his ear the secrets of power? Then you gave it to me. My royal government post. 5 floors below this palace, I was chained to it. My royal government post. And your royal government torturers wrap royal government chains around my body. And yes, Medici, being a vicious liar, you're a prince with whom I can identify. I don't ask much. A pardon for treason, conspiracy, crimes to which I never confessed, however cruel the torture. An allowance for my wife and children. A doctor for my wounds. A pension for my whore. And should you and I survive the next hour without betrayal, please, I need a place, a safe place, my rightful place with a prince. Republican, royalist for or against you, am I not Florence's one irreplaceable power? Enough of this game. Medici, spare me. Or suffer the consequence, as did my last ally. No less a person than the King of France. Next chapter's mine. A lesson in, shall we say, the art of statecraft. But I warn you, watch for the thrust of my argument. Its point, its cutting edge.
Machiavelli, is that? And how is the free Florentine Republic?
Still free of kings and princes, your majesty.
Beware the Medici, ambassador. They won't give up their claim to Florence, however long their exile.
The Republic thanks your majesty for advice.
Take a peach. I sent for you today because I need advice. Secret. Away from the leeches at court. So this meeting never happened, understood?
Majesty, would I tell a soul?
Ah, my lovebird. He eats from my mouth because he thinks I'm his lover.
And how may I be of service?
It's my empire, Machiavelli.
It is. Your Majesty's empire soars like an eagle around us with Paris, its glittering.
I mean, I'm losing it. Truth, Niccolò. Don't flatter me like the others. You're anti-royal, a foreigner, say what no one dares. King Louis's empire, and therefore King Louis is finished. But how? When France has won so many battles.
Statecraft.
Huh?
The French lack statecraft.
What do you mean? Don't spare me.
Oh, Louis, I won't. We minor states clung to you for protection, till you allowed the Principality of Romagna to be created right in our midst, thereby, 1, betraying your most harmless allies, whilst 2, empowering your most lethal rival, which is, of course, as always, Rome.
But
3, you carve up Naples with Spain, allowing a new power to enter Italy and become yet another rival.
But
4, beating Venice must have been fine. To smash in a day an empire 800 years in the making, but this only further boosts Spain and Rome. Again, France wins a battle but loses a war because she has no statecraft and breaks the law which states never make strong powers stronger. 5...
Stop!
Majesty, I've only just begun.
It's true, then. I'm ruined?
Not yet. Not quite. Others turn the tide.
How?
Statecraft!
Statecraft, witchcraft. Give examples, Machiavelli.
Look at the city of Cesena in Romagna, around the time you allowed its prince to carve out his new state there. Because of his harsh conquest, Romagna had grown unruly. No? Yes. And the iron law of statecraft states, never be neutral, always act. So the prince works fast to appease the locals and restore discipline. Diplomatically. Ends martial law, creates a civil forum. Militarily. Takes his most trusted violent ally, the warlord Ramiro de Orca, to Cesena's central square in the quiet before dawn, and here he cuts Ramiro de Orca in half.
To those who complain of bad government, he who abused you most has been cut down to size. I acted in your name, so the blood of my closest friends is on your hands now. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Such audacity. Some thought this the work of the devil, but I alone knew it for what it was. A masterstroke which so stunned everyone there was no more contempt or hatred in Romagna, only fear and respect for...
Wait! A sovereign must be respected and loved.
Better to be feared than loved. Louis follow his genius. Ramiro's butcher, Oliverotto's strangler, take charge, lead an army across the Alps like Hannibal, and even now you could save your empire.
Another war?
War can only be put off to the benefit of enemies.
Don't you tire of war, Machiavelli?
I'm tired of waiting. Unnecessary wars are just war.
Surely there's a better way to win
peace. Peace makes us soft and effeminate. We must live for nothing but war, the art of war, because a warlike ruler never sits back, for he knows that those who live for pleasure, for birds or peaches...
Now, how dare you? I'm God's representative on Earth.
Really? Here's where power lies. Between a man armed and a man naked. I mean, why should the armed man ever respect the unarmed, whoever he may or may not be?
You point a dagger at a king?
Exactly. I point. See the thrust of my argument. It's cutting edge. This blade proves my point, Louis. Now grasp it. Unless you take up the sword, and soon, Florence will fall and France will weaken until the day an Italian rules Paris.
What?
Time alone will reveal whether he be Medici or Borgia.
No! Republican filth! To think some Italian ambassador? You are ambassador to the devil.
See how I deal with the enemies of Florence. Be they king or prince, I take their words and twist them round, and I mean... That was chapter 4. How arse liquors must be shunned, Medici. Also, chapter 5, the need to avoid contempt and hatred. Both lessons ignored by Louis that day 16 months ago when I left him, and ignored by him again that day 4 months ago when my Florentine Republic fell and France did not enough. Thus, as I predicted, were both powers doomed since Louis twice broke the law of statecraft. Good advice is worthless to a fool unless he surrender his affairs to a shrewd and brilliant second-in-command. Which are you, Giuliano Medici? Prince or fool? Shrewd enough to hold firm against your own arse lickers? Clever enough at last to grasp Machiavelli's law? Never be neutral. Always take sides or you will become the toy of the winner. At your right hand or in full control, either way I'll make you. Republican or royalist, Medici. What I once did for Florence across the courts of Europe, I can do for your magnificence now. Pain makes me cleverer than ever before. I'm at the peak of my career, experienced second to none, and through war and peace and storm and siege, I have never once been wrong. Only wronged. And brought down to this beggary. Need I add how valuable are my secrets were they offered to certain other Italian families ruling certain other states? This is no threat, Medici, just a further prediction. Under my plan, Florence is only the start. Surrender yourself to me, and I'll win us the world, magnificence. For I alone hold this power, the real power, the power to learn about power from history's darkest, cruelest forces. I could even take us back to that other city, plant us right in the heart of your rival. Once there, who knows? I may even reveal him in full, my long-lost mystery prince. Lesson number... I'm losing control. Call this chapter How to Free Italy from Barbarians. To do it, we must go back to a time many centuries before 1513. Follow me, Medici. Dare. One last invasion of the past. Where chaos, civilization burns. Great men gather for the trial for their lives. And the prize to the winner? Power beyond imagining!
Stand! Make a stand!
Oh, we're unarmed!
So shut it! Bar the door! They'll have battering rams! We must barricade it!
With what? Can't see for the blood in my eyes!
Here, use these statues!
Where's your respect? This is the Senate building.
Do it!
Do you know who you're ordering?
Do you know who you're disobeying?
No. Who are you?
Who are you, old man? And who's he, bleeding on the floor like a coward?
Don't you know me? Even blind, I'm your emperor!
No, you're not. I am.
Wrong, it's me who's the emperor.
Romans, please! Fighting each other while out there vandals storm the city? I expected more. Because, in fact, you're all emperor, handpicked from every age to be present at the fall of Rome.
Rome falls?
This cannot happen.
No, it can. And she won't stop falling till we take action.
Correct. The hour has come to find out who can really save Italy from barbarity. Gentlemen, we need a supreme leader. Who of you three will be my one true prince? Huh? Marcus, perhaps. The philosopher, thoughtful, humane, except, of course, to the Christians he massacred. Otherwise, Marcus governed wisely from the year 161 to 180 A.D.
I tried. And died old in bed like a coward.
Which brings us to Julian. The great, the lazy, the vain. Such indolence couldn't last long.
That's Julian under a mask of blood.
Who's there? I can't see.
Severus.
The severe.
So severe that in this very room, year 193 terrified senators voted him emperor and for Julian's removal.
No. Severus. Mercy!
Final law of statecraft, magnificence. A prince never puts himself at another's mercy.
Marcus, throw this pig-meat Julian to the mob.
Who are you to command?
Do it!
Severus wins the power struggle like a true prince.
No need your vote can snap your neck also.
But I'm an ally.
I have no allies. They grow into rivals.
Well, yes, perhaps.
So before they grow, I remove them like warts.
Fine policy, in theory, but centuries from now, I could make you immortal. Explain. I'll say how brilliantly you balance three opposing factions. Rome's peace-loving public, war-loving army, power-loving nobles.
It makes me sound dull.
There's more. Much, much more. Flanked by military rivals east and west, you use lion's courage, fox's cunning to betray, destroy them. If I live, I promise future generations will hear of this.
You're clever, under pressure. I need bright men who know their place. It's a brief life, but glorious.
I'm honored, but...
You decline?
Must. Forgive me, Severus, I belong to another. My plan coming here was to top even your high level of statecraft with my master's unique talent.
It must be great for you to dare reject my patronage.
I should have arrived by now. Pray I didn't lose him somewhere. Caesar!
This sounds like a god.
Goes by many names, plays many parts. He's everywhere and nowhere. That's his secret. And mine, Giuliano Medici, my hand is forced. At last, I confess in full. My absent prince and your model, if you haven't guessed, is... Cesare! Butcher of Ramiro, hammer of mercenaries, strangler of Oliverotto, scourge of the Medici, Duke Valentino, Duke of Romagna, champion of Italy. In all your incarnations, show yourself, my only prince. Come to me, Cesare Borgia!
Your god's angry. Sends earthquakes to punish us.
Not him. Look, the door.
The Vandals battering ram.
Time we were gone.
You won't fight?
Severus, though I was an able commander of troops, I never was keen on doing the actual physical, and without Cesare Borgia for protection,
Go! Find your lost god. Ask his help.
And you?
Romans don't run. This is the last barricade. Here I make my stand. Here, with bare hands if necessary. Just keep your word, eh?
How so?
To make me immortal. Tell him, safe in the luxury of the future. Tell him Severus Septimius wasn't a good man nor kind. But in the end, your ancestor did all he could to keep our civilization from barbarity. Do it!
I will, Severus. For when everywhere's chaos and everything's lost, who else has the guts to take a stand? The good, the kind, the meek, the weak. Not in my world, the real world, a world of real politics, raw power. For this is not history now, and no longer myth. This is 1503, when I fear that through a silent enemy, far from siege and storm, the modern fall of Rome has just begun. I only hope I'm not too late. I only pray I'm wrong.
Yes.
Machiavelli, Ambassador, Florentine Republican.
Papers.
I was searching for... Expected him upstairs. Heard he was... Where is he?
Hold this perfume cloth to your nose and mouth.
Why?
Go through, Ambassador. When your eyes adjust to the dark, you'll see.
Master, it's Niccolò. Don't you recognize?
The face is cruel. My assassin, are you? Or a priest come to take my confession?
Master, I don't worship God, only you, my Cesare Borgia.
Laid out flat when he should be ruling Rome.
Rest easy. While you're unwell, I can nurse you. Your father, Pope Alexander, can rule as normal till...
Bastard!
Shh, you're delirious.
I wanted his empire. He gave me fever.
Your father's ill, too?
My father, the Pope, is dead. Chance lost while I lie here. My rivals strike. It's over. His empire, my empire, gone, gone.
Oh, Cesare, survive this. Adapt. Use your genius. 5 years I've studied your every move. Think how perfectly you've planned for everything.
Everything.
Such prowess, ruthless logic, the surgical application of policy without conscience or remorse. All these forces meet today. Salvation Day for Rome and Italy. The day Prince Cesare Borgia, Duke Valentino, Duke of Romagna, finally grabs his ultimate prize, which is, of course, absolute power.
Luck. Borgia planned for everything but the unknown.
But I don't understand. Unknown.
Always one fatal crack. A flaw overlooked. That my hour of triumph might equal the hour of my fall. How vain to never notice I'd made myself irreplaceable. How blind to never reckon on my own mortality. Art of power. Science of power. Secret of power. Power's shit, Niccolò. Because power is luck. And luck's a river which floods our land and we drown.
Wrong. Luck's a woman who we must beat into submission.
Oh, Fortune. Princess Fate. She wins. I lose.
Fate? We only talk of fate when we blunder. You always said never accept fate.
In the night, my heart...
You said the world's a will to power and nothing else.
Oi.
So get up, fight fate, fight back.
Leave him. Niccolò, I am only human.
No, you're not. You're my prince. Without your power, who am I? What am I? What about me?
Autumn
Et fortuna stagas est.
Are you mad? You could have killed him.
No need. Whether or not your master survives this fever, he's already dead. As ever, I was cruel but right. Illness and failure left him broken. After escaping Rome, Cesare Borgia met his prince's fate in a Spanish desert. By then, just a common mercenary, robbed of all titles, with only Machiavelli to guard the glory of his name.
Remember me, not as the devil, but as a violent, passing storm.
Oh, I yearn so much to show him as perfect, yet I'm drawn to his annihilation. Why? Has torture made me self-defeating? Or do I secretly fear that, yes, power is luck? I mean, but for the curse of fortune, a fluke of time and place, I might be sitting where you are now, judging your legacy much as you dare judge mine. Very well, magnificence. I admit power may be half skill, half luck, but this only furthers the case for my continued existence, because that half of statecraft, which is beyond luck, needs twice as much manipulation, no? Yes? Consider the danger facing you, Prince Giuliano Medici, not least your brother Lorenzo. If you reject me, who knows? Soon Lorenzo himself might be trawling the dungeons of Florence, and I warn you, however long I rot in the dark, I will deliver power. If not to you, to him. If not to him, any prince will do, because except for chance, an accident of lowly birth, the greatest prince who ever ruled, he should have been, could have been, would have been me! A message from the prince who never was, to every prince who might yet be. If you dream of saving yourself and your people, whatever the cost, embrace Machiavelli. Let me invade you, possess you, and when we're one, our power indivisible, you'll no longer care whether the lessons I teach you are meant nobly, or as a parody, or as my longest, cruelest revenge. Lord Macaulay.
We doubt whether any name be as odious as the man whose character and writings we now consider.
Nietzsche.
But all great things must first wear a terrifying mask, that they may inscribe themselves on the hearts of humanity.
Il Duce Mussolini.
Fate? Statesmen only talk of fate when they have blundered.
Herr Hitler.
The world is a will to power, and nothing else.
Lieutenant Calais.
In order to save the people, it was necessary to destroy them.
Power is magnificence!
Power is revenge.
The Prince was based on the book by Niccolò Machiavelli and dramatized for radio by Peter Wolf. Machiavelli was played by Kieran Hines. The Prince by Christopher Godwin, Louis by Philip Voss, Karen and Marcus by John Rowe, Oliverotto and Julian by Scott Handy, Ciccone and Severus by Stephen Critchlow, David by Chris Kellum, Saul by Tom George, and Carbone by Gavin Muir. The play was directed by Cherry Cookson.